Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tested by the devil. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and afterward was famished. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread." But Jesus answered, "It is written, one does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took Jesus to the holy city and placed him on the pinnacle of the temple, saying to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, God will command the angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone." Jesus said to the devil, "Again it is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." Again, the devil took Jesus to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory, and said to him, "All these I will give to you if you fall down and worship me." Jesus said to the devil, "Away with you, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve God alone." Then the devil left Jesus, and suddenly angels came and waited on him. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. We are at a turning point, and everything is different. One of the things I love about the liturgical year is though many of us have experienced Lent many times, and we've heard the account of Jesus' temptation in the wilderness on the first Sunday of every Lent, everything is different this year. In our country, in the news, in your life, and at Holy Trinity. Yet this time around, this time through Lent, there is new grace and new wisdom for us. Lent is 40 days. It is no coincidence that Jesus is in the desert 40 days. In the scriptural imagination, 40 means for a long time. Noah and his family are in the ark for 40 days. Moses and the Israelites wander in the wilderness for 40 years. Jesus' ascension is 40 days after the resurrection. The number 40 gets our attention. It's a turning point. It's not just about getting to the end of something, but it's something to live through, to experience. A pilgrimage of sorts. So goes the wise saying, the journey is the destination. Jesus' baptism is a turning point from him. The gospel we heard a couple months ago. A voice from heaven declared him God's beloved, and everything is different. He has a new calling, and whether he feels raring to go or overcome by second thoughts, the Spirit leads him into the wilderness, or as Mark puts it, the Spirit drives him into the wilderness. And there, while fasting and praying, Jesus faces deep trials that call into question his very identity. At turning points in our lives, we may hear a voice in our head, perhaps the tempter. Where will you put your trust? The tempter uses fear. You don't have enough. You're not in control. You're not secure. So save yourself and prove yourself and rule the world and rely on yourself and trust no one. Jesus reveals to us the opposite of fear, and it is courage. It is faith. It is trust. When things fall apart, we are invited to trust something, someone beyond our limitations, beyond our self-centeredness, beyond our fear. The purple everywhere reminds us that Lent is a turning point. What seems like an end, ashes, is the invitation to something new. And transformation is not instantaneous. It takes a long time. The litany that we just sang in procession around the church represents this slow pilgrimage. Malachi is at a turning point. Today, with people all over the world on the first Sunday of Lent, Malachi will be enrolled as a candidate for baptism at the Easter Vigil. This spiritual preparation takes time. In the early church, the catechumenate lasted for 3 years. 3, another holy number. We will journey with Malachi, for this turning point isn't only life-changing for him, it is a gift for us. As we journey with him, our hearts expand. We grow in faith and trust, and we turn again to Christ as the source of healing, the source of hope, the source of resurrection. Lent means lengthening. As the earth is turning and tilting back toward the sun, spring is weeks away, even though there's a dusting of snow on the ground. We return to the Lord with all our heart. It is after 40 days in the wilderness that Jesus' public ministry begins, and then he will turn his face toward Jerusalem, the place he will give his life. Before there was even this church year with Advent and Lent and Christmas and Epiphany, all there was an all-night Easter vigil. Then came the 3 days in Holy Week. Then came Lent. In other words, there is no Lent without Easter. Holy Trinity's book for Lent this year is called How We Learn to Be Brave: Decisive Moments in Life and Faith. The author is Marianne Buddy, the Bishop of Washington, D.C., known for several courageous acts, most recently for her challenging inauguration sermon, in which she pleaded with our president to have mercy on those most vulnerable. The first chapter of the book, which we're discussing this week, is called Deciding to Go. Buddy reminds us that whether it is for the first time or the 100th time, in choosing to go, we know that our lives matter. We have all had key moments of transition in our lives that demanded brave courage. As she writes, when we go in fear, we are given courage to do what we think we cannot do. When we go in excitement, sometimes it's as if we've been preparing for this moment our whole lives. Yet in either case, the cost of going is high. We will never be the same. It is not lost on me that we are discussing the chapter Deciding to Go at the very time I have announced my resignation. My decision to conclude my ministry here later this year took a long time and was and is heart-wrenching. I knew it had to come sometime. It is a turning point filled with more emotion than any words that I could say. And I know that we need a long time. We need more than 40 days to process all of this. Our feelings, our questions, getting ready for what is next. These next 7 months give us time to grieve, and to celebrate, to let go and to dream, to process and to plan. It will take time and it cannot be rushed. There's a book about pastoral transitions that I just read, and in it, it tells the story of 3 children who walk each day to school. They have 2 possible routes. They can take the road from their house to school, but it's longer, and it's actually out of the way. But they can also take a shortcut through a field, but the field is filled with thistles. And in the summer, there are days that they don't wear shoes to school, and sometimes they're very hot and very hungry, so they run and hop quickly through the thistle patch, yelping in pain the whole way. When they arrive home, they remove the thistles and they count and tell each other how many they had. The lesson: running full speed through this transition or any life transition. To avoid the pain has a price to pay. The prickly briars are the powerful emotions that we do not deal with. The journey before us may seem out of the way. We may think we should move on, but there's a lot of spiritual and emotional work for us to do this Lent and in the months to come. And perhaps we are never more alive than at turning points. Amid our fears, our need, our vulnerability, we turn to God, and love finds us, and grace finds us. God, the divine lover, meets us on the path, assures us that we are beloved, holds us when our hearts are breaking, gives us the gift of community, feeds us again and again at this table, and gently reminds us of the promise of spring, that Easter is indeed coming. Amen.